Thank you very much. Warm welcome from my side. I will just give you a short introduction about UNICA. UNICA is an Austrian company which is working internationally in 19 countries, including Austria. We are four insurance companies: UNICA Austria, UNICA International, where I belong, UNICA Reinsurance, situated in Zurich, and Raiffeisen Insurance, Austria. The last year, as you can see, was quite successful for us. Our result 2015 was very nice for the shareholders mainly. And we are dealing in different regions and also in different line of business. We have our portfolio concerns everything: life insurance, health insurance, and of course property and casualty. Now we come to the motor fleet. This is where I belong now since 1 year. I do motor fleet underwriting in the UNICA corporate business. Don't be surprised, the numbers are a little bit strange in some countries. At least we succeeded. Last year we finished with 105 million euros gross written premium. As you can see, our main markets are Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia. In Hungary, this is also one of our main markets, we had a loss due to sanitation, which was very important for us, and we are continuing. Don't be surprised, for example, in Ukraine, but also in Romania, we had a high increase, but in Romania, this was due to the we had a new definition for corporate motor business. So we received a lot of the portfolio which was until now in retail. And in the Ukraine, which is a very difficult market due to the political situation, due to the devaluation of the currency, I would say we have a very good underwriting team, but we are also and sometimes very lucky, because we received a lot of the business from ex-Generali who left the market, also from Allianz, and also AXA is now said that they are going to leave the market. We don't know yet if it's true. So a lot of the clients are coming already to us. And of course, it's the bonus to be a Western European insurer. The loss ratio in MTPL and Casco overall was 2015 92%. As you can see, of course, and as it is also in your countries, the motor insurance is the big driver, as it is also in our portfolio. In most of our countries, the motor portfolio is more than 50%. And I'm sorry, these are the figures of last year, not the updated figure. Here in Xprim you will see the newest figures. Thanks to Xprim, one of the organizers, we are using a lot of your statistics, but I didn't have the results last week, so I'm sorry. But the total change was only slightly. I looked it up, it was 50.19% now, all motor insurance of non-life GBP. In Ukraine and also in Russia we don't do only life insurance, but in Ukraine we have motor insurance, but in Ukraine we take only domestic MTPL. We stepped out of the green card fund due to high losses, and we don't sell any green cards anymore in Ukraine. The top non-life insurance markets in CEE are Poland, Czech Republic, Romania, Slovenia, and Hungary. Honestly, it didn't change this year, so the main players are these markets, and also in our portfolio they are the big countries. Sorry. So what are the challenges? First, I would say in most of our countries there is a little bit of lack of underwriting experience and of long-term experience. We often face the problem that we don't get, for example, the loss history from the brokers. If something is already existing, they don't like to give it to us. Also regarding the age of vehicles, the activity of the companies, it's not so, we don't get the info always, so it's also tricky to look everything up in the internet if you have a big fleet. And most of our underwriters are still relying on the tariff and are just working with discounts. So they don't really underwrite and they don't really do proper risk assessment. Oops. Where are we now? No, sorry, I was too quick. This slide is about new vehicle registration, which is of course quite important for us for the casco premium. As you can see, in last year, 2015, it was the first time that it went up again. Until now, we had a big loss in casco, which is of course a main driver for us. And most of the companies and also of the driver, they say, yes, bonus we like, but not the malus, for example. So it's always a little bit tricky. Another challenge is the shifting of carrier fleets. In CE, it's really like a circus. They started for some years in Slovakia, then they moved to Hungary. Now they are in Bulgaria, Romania. So we will see what is next, always following the smallest premiums, which is quite tricky, as we heard already, thanks to all our speakers before, because the claims and the losses are increasing. And for example, we have a big problem in Romania with the heavy trucks, due to the fact that they are working international, they are going abroad, and of course, if there is a loss, we have to pay the Western European amounts for spare parts or for bodily injuries. So it's quite tricky, and for example, we increased the premium that you have a feeling from 3,000 RON, this was a heavy truck last year, to 12,000 RON now. That was like a 600 to nearly doubled, and to 2,000 euros. And for the freight forwarders, it was increased to 30,000 RON. So of course, the companies, the freight forwarders were not very happy, and it even came to strikes now in Romania from this business. Of course, they cannot pay it anymore, but our loss ratio is catastrophe. The second thing are legal and political challenges, like for example, new regulation and taxes. In Hungary, there was an increase on the tax, insurance tax of 30%. Of course, you cannot just give it one-to-one to the client. Then, of course, there's also the question between still highly regulated markets, like Ukraine or Serbia, and on the other side, completely soft markets where the regulation was which are deregulated, and where the premiums go down, and the competition is very high. So one example for us is Romania. For sure, Daniela and her team, they know the data even better and the figures. In Romania, the top players are Allianz, Omniasig, and Astra. Astra is a topic for its own. As you all know, they went bankrupt last year. Also, Carpatica and Euroins are on the edge. Supervision authorities forced Euroins to increase the capital. As far as I know, they found an investor now. But of course, it's very difficult for the competitors because the reputation of insurance companies are going down. And as Marius said already, it's very tricky and yeah, I think for the client, quite frightening situation. Also, we have the problem that the local players are mostly under-reserved, B-rated, and the capital is not enough. The development in the insurance industry, for example, as I mentioned already, MTPL premium is really sharply increased. But we need it to cover the past losses, with which we are confronted now, especially for trucks. There are a lot of unreserved losses via the Green Card Fund due to the bankrupt Astra, and if Carpatica and Eurowings are following, I don't know how the situation will be. I really do hope that they will survive. There are still big differences between local companies and international carriers, also from the risk management and from in the fleets and also from the maintenance point of view. So you really have to make a careful underwriting if you take fleets, also from the local companies. Of course, the increasing of the premiums is very interesting for other competitors to enter the market because they see the money. But it's really a tricky market to enter, and we are really fighting a little bit. Our next market is Ukraine, where we are, Unica is under the top players in Ukraine. We fight with the inflation of the currency. At the moment, €1 is 28 hryvnias. This has a high impact on our sum insurers, of course, because they are in hryvnia and the value goes down. So this is also one point how we did some business, that our employees, we write every 3 months SMS to our clients that they have to increase the payment, that they really have the same sum insured. The expected growth for 2016 went down again. The Atozone, Lugansk and Donetsk is not covered. We don't give any cover if vehicles are going there, but still it's not an official war. Even, okay, I know that they stopped fighting now, or at least they announced it. Based on the exchange rate, the market is shrinking, but the Ukraine hryvnia is growing. The market is deeply undercapitalized. You know what I mean. Sorry. But the concentration is expected because at the moment 400 insurance companies are on the Ukrainian market, and these are also companies like you are a broker more or less, and you receive the license. So it's really a little bit crazy, I think, and for sure a lot of them will be eaten by bigger companies. Also, for example, Autogarant, they bankrupted. It was quite a big player in motor insurance, and the losses were taken by the Green Card Fund. And also the decrease of cars by 52% in 2015 was, of course, a big topic for us. But very interesting is that people who really don't have a lot of money anymore, they try to insure casco on their vehicles, that still at least this value is somehow perceived. And also very interesting is that Unica is already offering this service in Ukraine, that if you have an MTPL claim with some other party and you are with Unica, that Unica Ukraine is settling this claim also from your side, and they do the recourse. I was always also surprised. I didn't know that this is already existing. And next topic and future trends is, of course, the what we are looking for is the insurance density. There's still some room. As you can see in Austria, for example, the per capita, you can say they pay an insurance premium of 2,000 euros. Of course, this is accident, health, life, car, household, whatever. And in our countries where we are located, it's significant less. So hopefully the economy will be better, and for sure there is some room still given to make business there. The topic is also the average age of vehicles. Until now, we mostly have vehicles also in casco insurance which are 10 years and older. 15 years is very common. In Western Europe, it's at least 7, 8 years. And of course, the sum insured is decreasing. So we are really keen on new vehicle registrations, because then we can work with different sum insured. Our next topic is also new technologies, like eCall is going to be implemented by the EU in 2018. We have to implement this. We have to have the telematic equipment inside for eCall. And also we are confronted with legal changes in different countries. For example, as I mentioned already, Hungary, they implemented a 30% insurance tax. Or for example, in Croatia, they deregulated the insurance market and the premium is on the floor. So these are the challenges we are approaching. What will be the next? As you can see, telematics is a very popular topic at the moment. We started already in 2008. We tried to go to Czech and Hungary, but honestly, we were not so successful. In Austria, yes, it's Unica safe line is very popular, and we have a good result. In the other countries, it's not like this. But for example, big other player is, for example, in Albania and Kosovo, Unica Sigal. They also have a telematics product which is working very nicely. As far as I know, Triglav, they implemented their pay how much you drive product. And PZU and Link4, as far as I know, they belong together now. They announced it, but until now, I think they didn't really do anything. Yeah? It's just, but AXA, which was said that they are going to leave Ukraine, for example, they implemented now and pay how you drive that tariff. We are also thinking about telematics and telematics tariffs in the CE region, but the question for us is the market really ready for it? One topic is for sure still this right mindset. Are we accepting that someone else is getting our data? The premium levels in CH are much lower than, for example, in the markets where telematics is already used, like UK, US, or Italy. Of course, the eCall legislation will be introduced next year, or in 2 years, so the telematics products will be pushed, but still the average age of a vehicle is, yes, 15 years in the CE. So how will they work together, the new technology and old cars? This will be quite interesting. And the other thing is, of course, the customers. Yeah? As I mentioned, are they already, also it costs something, are they prepared to pay more without, let's say, an obvious additional benefit? They cannot touch it, and who wants to have a loss, an accident where you see the benefit? How many customers do have an a device. For example, in motor fleets, it's quite common. They all have a telematic device. It would be more easy to implement it there. But still, most of the people are looking for the premium. A low price is better than to have a fancy commodity. So, and how are we going to do it? Are we giving discounts for good drivers, but increase the premium for bad drivers? I mean, it's tricky. Even if it would be, I would say it's just, yeah, to increase and decrease, but will they understand the customer this kind of pricing? This is also our question for ourselves now. We are working on a telematics tariff, but we're also not really knowing in which direction it's going. So thank you very much.